And we are live. It is 8:01 p.m. Eastern, 5:01 p.m. Pacific, 1:01 a.m. in China Mike's bedroom, just in case he's up with insomnia and lurking. Just saying. Welcome to the Sunday Night Hang. I'm Ben. Of course, you knew that because you're on my channel. Awesome. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button. See, I'm actually remembering all this stuff right off the bat for once. And hanging with me tonight on the Sunday Night Hang is fellow Canuck with guitars, because I can see them in the background, from the Belle Provence? Nah, the Poutine Provence, which is the greatest. I'm sorry, that's the greatest export out of Quebec, because, my God, post-gig meal, poutine. Welcome, my good friend Francis of the Pedal Room. What's going on, man?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Ben. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Poutine is very good.
You know, you wrap up playing, you know, like I don't know if you're familiar with the chain of restaurants Smokes Poutineery, which is started in Toronto. It's spread throughout Ontario now. They got like 80 locations. But in Toronto alone, they had like 40 locations, right? So no matter what club you play downtown Toronto, there's a Smokes within a block or two. Okay. And so I get off stage and tear down, and I'm like, I'll be back in 10 minutes. And I'll go grab this big pound and a half of like bacon cheeseburger poutine, because they do like 50 varieties. So it's like, 1,000 calories easy. And I'm just 2-hour drive back home. No problem. Because you're just starved. I'm just inhaling this stuff. And everyone's looking at me like, where are you putting this? I don't care. It's so good. So good. Yes, definitely. If you can't have breakfast after a gig, poutine.
I'll have to try it. I never went to, you said it's called Smokes?
Smokes Poutineery.
Smokes Poutineery? I'm going to have to check that out next time.
If you're traveling through, which we've discussed off air, we do have a location here in Belleville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe next...
We've been ignoring the chat enough here. Let's see what we got. Man, there's a ton of people in the chat. So we have Martin saying he's not here because it's a late night for him in Austria. Sleep well, Martin. I hope you're watching the replay and enjoying it. We have Charles75N, JP Page 2, Ben Langley, great name. Justin Cox in Utah, Will Varela, the Wild Man, Bent Tom, un-effing believable. I got to keep it clean here. We're early in the show. Don't want to get demonetized again. That's been 2 Canucks shows in a row demonetized, so or limited or shared, whatever you want to go. Craig Flowers Music Studio, good to see you, man. Terry's Triple G. Some cat named the Pedal Room. I don't know who that is. BC Rich 581. Chris Bevan. Hurricane Moon. Awesome. Wow, we got a bunch of people here. Let's see. I'm not even halfway through. Ian Luckett's here. Awesome. Welcome, Ian. Who else we've got? There's Absolute Mayhem, another wild man. Still got to finish working on your guitar, Mayhem. Had some hand issues this week, so I didn't really feel like trying to buff with a power tool. Thomas Santiago. Possibly my favorite name in YouTube here. The sexy bearded Viking wizard, the badass Aussie.
That's cool.
I pity the fool that tries to say hey to him on their phone without the auto tag. Michael, good to see you, man. Hip Metal Works. Fruitcake Tony. Nice. Hugh Caldwell, Susie Cherry. The Feel Button. I think I got everybody, because I did the old skip to the end here. Skip to the end, my darling. So, you're in beautiful Montreal, or the greater Montreal area?
North Shore of Montreal, yeah.
North Shore, nice. Yeah. I've had a few, I can't say memorable times in Montreal, because honestly, I've had such a great time I don't remember. But cool. To be 18 and find out Quebec has an 18-year-old, drinking age.
It's true. You guys, it's 19 in Ontario, right?
That's right. Hey, Truth Guitar Method, Jimmy Biter. We got 35 people in here already. Yeah, so if you have any questions for either of us, ask away. Yeah, Montreal. So, I see you've got some guitars. I said off air, I warned you I was going to throw you under the bus. So,
yeah.
Those who've been watching the channel a while, they know how much research I do on my guests, which is bupkis, because I just like to keep it real with no plan, and it's just easier that way. And so I know Francis here is a good cat, member of the guitar YouTube community, we'll say. familiar name in the chat for at least my chat for some time now. And then I start seeing him elsewhere as he started discovering other channels, which is awesome. Find out he's a fellow Canuck. I'm like, that's cool. Right on. And then, so we start talking. You started going live recently, and I happened to catch you live. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And you're like, this is a trip. I'm like, yeah, I'm watching you for a change. This is cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
And
I was shocked when I saw you in the chat. That was pretty fun to see you there, man.
And that was it. I was just like, this is a cool cat. And then I emailed you, like we were talking in the chat. I'm like, I'll email you. And I'm like, or you emailed me, and I got back to you. And we're like, let's do this. And then, you did substitute duty for Metalhead Hippie there a while back. And I went, this is a good cat. This is it right here. So,
and it was an honor to do that for Metalhead Hippie, man. He's a great guy, and he does a lot for the community. I think all the musicians and everything. We're lucky to have people like you and people like Metalhead Hippie in the community.
I try. Nothing more, nothing. Robot Master Switch. Hello, sir. Let's see. I assumed sir. We don't know. Zach Thong. Pretty sure Zach's a male, though. Oh, dear Lord. Stay safe, Zach. Yeah, I heard about that terrible news. Mark Dillon tuning in from The Rock. Nice. Actually, why don't we get we haven't done that in a while in here. Why doesn't everyone say where they're from in the chat? Always curious. He's a boy robot. Good to know. All right, there we are.
He's up. Cool. There's a lot of my friends in here, Ben. There's a lot of people awesome. From
Half Ace. Yes. Ian's in the UK. Nice. Late night. Good morning to you.
Thank you for coming to support me, Ian.
We got Little Rody Guitar out of Rhode Island. Nice. Good to see you, brother. Chris is out of Akron. Rural Southern Missouri Ozarks. Love that. Hurricane Moon's also in England. Nice. Yeah. Fruitcake Tony's in the Raleigh area. See, I know that. See, I remember all that all the way from like last week. Thank you, Mayhem. Link to Metalhead channel, and I believe he's going live later tonight after me. And also later tonight, God love him, David Nesdall, that guy. So he's been going live. Not only does he do Nez Says Thursdays with Ty Price. Hey, Brisley, good to see you from Paris. Beautiful. So Dave's been going live on Sundays as well, talk about some of his guitar collection and stuff. And he's been trying to go live before me. So I get a call about an hour ago. Dave's still at the beach, hanging out at the beach with Desiree. They're watching the sunset. And he's like, hey, man, I just wanted to find out again, what time are you on live? And I'm like, 8. What time are you wrapping up at? I said, I don't know, 9:30 or so, we'll say. He goes, okay, well, I'll just wait and go live after you if that's cool. I don't want to go live the same time as you. And I'm like, okay, brother, thanks, like awesome. And so everyone, after we wrap up, you have your choice of Metalhead Hippie or David Nesdall. There's Sean the bassist. Good to see you. Now, did Sean the bassist Sean loitering with you online there that one night?
Sean the bassist is, yes, and Sean the bassist is actually I was in a band with him for many years. He actually lives in also the North Shore of Montreal. Nice. He's a buddy of mine, and I actually started my channel with him initially. He kind of dragged me into starting YouTube channel. So basically, we know each other.
Okay. Now we got a crap ton here, more people. Let's see. Jack Collins is out of Louisiana. See, that's how you pronounce it, Louisiana. Fuel Buttons out of Oregon. Brownsville, Texas. Nice. Stamford, Connecticut. There's Janice. Adelaide for Deja Voodoo. Nice. I love that name, Deja Voodoo. That's Sacramento. Cool. Nice. Okay. What else we got? Buffalo, New York. Nice. Dogpa's here. My lovely sister's here. Rody's Jam Cave's here. Bill Spruce is out of Montreal. Or Montreal, he just says they play hockey there and have great beer. Well, this is true. There's Kunar, the Albanian in Austria. All right. Speaking of throwing people under the bus, so Kunar here decides to start doing a demos. So he does a demo on a Harley Benton, like a double cut junior type object. I watched the video. I was quite entertained by the video. I watched over 10 minutes of a guitar demo before I heard the guitar being played. And we're talking a video that's approximately 13, 14 minutes. So I'm like, we're 10 minutes in. I haven't heard this thing. But I was still watching 10 minutes in because the guy's so well spoken and you can hear the passion when he's describing this guitar that you don't mind at all. And I was just like, great. And then he starts playing the thing and the guy's got some licks. And I was just like, so everyone should check out Canar's channel. He says he's going to do some more reviews. And I think if we keep subbing to him, he's got to do it. Just saying. Just saying.
Cool. I don't know if you noticed, man, in the chat, Fruitcake Tony was asking me if I got my mail. So,
yes,
so, you know, I got my mail here, and I can open it if Ben is cool with that.
I'm very cool with that. Why don't you do that? And I'm even going to present you. Boom. So we get the full effect. So I'm just going to watch along here with everyone else, except I get a voice in the peanut gallery.
Cool. So yeah, I saved this just for tonight, Fruitcake Tony, just so I can see this. Thank you, Fruitcake Tony. I really appreciate that. I see a nice, cool note. So let me show the pic here that I won on Fruitcake Tony's last week.
Oh yes. Which I apologize as well to Fruitcake Tony. I was really looking forward to catching yesterday's show live, and they totally flaked. My fault.
So here's the pic that I won. Can you see it there?
Is that a slash pick?
No, this is it was a rat.
Oh, even better.
Carlos
Cavazo. So
yeah.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Rat. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Thank you very much for cool. Tony. I appreciate that, man.
Carlos is a hell of a player and underrated.
Oh, my wife's in the chat too.
Oh dear Lord. Okay, we'll behave somewhat. Although I completely was withholding performance-enhancing beverages from you when you were live before. I believe there was talk of Coronas or something in the chat. How she had them all. She
was withholding the beer from me. Yeah, it wasn't cool that.
I thought so. Yep. Well, welcome anyways. It's nice to have Tina here. So yes. Yeah. Awesome. So what got you into deciding to start a YouTube channel?
Well, like I mentioned, basically my buddy Sean, the bassist, he basically said, "Why don't we start a YouTube channel? Just for fun." And so we started it. And I can tell you, actually, it's officially a year. On the 4th, it was officially a year that I have my channel now.
Okay.
And I can tell you, I see a lot of work that you guys have to put into it when you have a channel. I didn't realize how much work it was, and I continued doing it because it is fun, and I started understanding more what the community was about. When I discovered your channel and I came into some of your hangs, and I saw how laid back and cool it was, and everybody's there chatting and helping each other, and it's really it's a fun community. I started understanding what it's actually about, because before that, honestly, I thought YouTube was just turn on the television and watch a channel. I thought it was just watching whatever you want to watch. And now I get that, you can communicate with people, you get to meet friends.
Yeah.
I made international friends. I mean, just recently, and sorry about the hands, I'm Italian, so I talk with my hands a lot. So
imagine that, Italian from Montreal. Yeah, no kidding, eh?
There you go. But I met a lot of friends, and we kind of have, we basically started an international band. I mean, with some of the people I met, and I would have never met them if it wasn't for this community. I mean, it's fantastic, But that's why.
Well deserved. He says, "Dude, I appreciate this so much." Yeah. Not to mention, I'm going to assume Canar's English is a second language or possibly third, because I know a lot of people outside of Canada. We're lucky. I know enough French to find out the score of the hockey game, where the bathroom is, and order my favorite beer. The priorities in life, and that's got me through many a night in Montreal. But after that, but my God, Canuck is just great, well spoken, and just in the passion. Heard a lot of passion in there.
Yeah.
Nice. Justin says Ben has a blue collar show. Well, and since it's good that Tina's here too, because Tina, I'm sure you get sick of Francis talking your ear off about the newest pedal that Josh Scott brought out. You don't care. You don't want to hear about it. This is the outlet where we all get to hang out, talk gear, get it out of our systems. It's like book club for men.
You know, you're saying that, Ben, and it's funny because you see my channel name, The Padded Pedal Room. Yes. That actually came from my wife because I'm so crazy about pedals. I was always like buying, selling, trading, trying every pedal under the sky. So when we were looking for a channel name, she said, you should call yourself The Padded Pedal Room because you guys belong in a padded room, basically.
I love it.
Yeah.
She says, now I zone out. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark Scout. Good to see you. Welcome. A little roadie guitar says my wife could care less. Exactly. Francis is good people. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Ask Francis to talk about the collaboration video he made about Metalhead Hippies show. Fruitcake Tony asks. Well, I just did.
Collaboration video? You're talking about our collaborative international band?
Maybe.
Yeah, we just did. If it's cool with you, Ben. Basically, I'll just let you know. Well, hey, we just like I had mentioned to you. It seems like we formed an international band recently, so we just did our first debut song. Basically, we call ourselves the Hippies House Band.
Nice.
And there's two guys from England. You saw them in the chat. You got Ian Luckett and Hurricane Moon.
Nice.
There's two guys from Canada, well, from Montreal area, basically, Sean the bassist and myself. Beautiful. And we have Andy Dion, who's from the, I would say, around the Boston area. And we have, Andy Dion. He's very active. He does a lot of songs, and he's won a lot of guitars in a lot of competitions, if that's what you're looking at too. And we have a sixth member that was just.
I know the name from.
Yeah, I'm sure if you saw a lot of competitions.
It's right, it's just right there. Like I'm sure I've run into him in a chat or seen a video or seen him win a guitar.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or if you sit in at Hippies, I'm sure you've seen some of his videos too. And
probably there, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And we officially have a sixth member that was just added recently.
A little roadie guitar. Yeah, we'll be here for a bit.
Craig Flowers Music Studio also was added to our band, so that our next song will probably be with all six of us. But it's fun. It's honestly, if I hadn't seen your show and it was your show was basically the gateway to me meeting everybody here, and it's honestly I thank you for that, and it's really cool, man.
We have an open door policy here. If you're a good person and you just want to talk gear and hang out and like say have a performance enhancing beverage. It's the way we can do it. We're all at home, so it's like getting together at like if we had a lodge, or something like that, where it's just musicians hanging out at this club or whatever. But none of us have to drink and drive. We're all, which is great.
Yeah.
So
and
the beverage is cheaper at home too, so that leaves more money for gear.
Absolutely. There you go. That's the important thing. More money for gear. Absolutely.
Exactly. Awesome. I saw somebody mention they had one of Tim's pedals from TL Pedals. Nice. And it's nice to see a lot of new names in here tonight. That's awesome. I do appreciate it. Hey, Milt. Good to see you, my man. Let's see here. Brisley loves Montreal. I have family there and try to visit every year. Nice.
Very cool.
Yes, I know Mayhem loves Montreal too. Yes, the Musicians Hunting Lodge. Funny, see, Tom mentions that because I asked him if he does any camping at all. And he's kind of into camp. I said, bring the boys up, because like where I am, well, it's like I'm right on the edge of the Canadian Shield. So like below me is sandbanks. We've got beaches. It looks like California or Florida.
Yeah.
But if I drive 10 minutes north, it's like Algonquin Park. It's just lakes and rock and bears and moose and everything else. So come on up. We get an Airbnb cabin.
You can camp though at Sandbanks too. I think you can set up a tent there and everything.
Oh yeah,
I've been there the last two. My last two vacations over the last 2 years, I've come down to Sandbanks. This year, if it wasn't for everything going on, I was planning to actually stay in Belleville this year to go to Sandbanks. So
that's funny because like I'm right by the highway, so it'd be like, hey, you're like, Ben, what are you up to? I'm like, what's up? You're like, it's raining. We're in the hotel room. I just need to leave for an hour. I'm like, buddy, get over here.
There you go. Next time I come down, definitely I'll come and check you out, man. That'll be really cool.
Sean's got to go. No worries, Sean. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
Preston says, "City boy, come to North Bay." Well, it's only a 4-hour drive. Beautiful. Tom said as soon as the lockdown ends, he's driving up with the boys. Beautiful.
Cool.
And Tom, knowing Tom, he'd pull a me. Like if he was coming up solo, I'd be like, "Where do you want to crash?" He's like, "Same place you do." Like at JJ's place, he'd be crashed right in here. Because that's what I do at JJ's place. He's like, "Where you want to crash, mate?" I'm like, "In the house of jams."
Cool.
Hey, Six String Brian. Good to see you, man. Nice. We got 60 people in here. This is awesome.
You're really good at that. I could see the experience there. The way you check the chat at the same time as chatting and everything. I'm still getting used to that, man. The chat goes so fast sometimes, man. It's crazy.
Jamal, good to see you. Driving back to Houston. Awesome. Well, and the quick shout outs. Like, I don't like talking over people, but it's like if you're talking, as soon as you take a breath, they'll be like, "Hey, Jamal." I learned that from Johnny Bean. The quick shout outs, because then you get the best boat. Because, honestly, you got to pay attention to the chat. Otherwise, people would just either watch on replay or just not watch. But which makes me think something you mentioned earlier. You used to watch YouTube like TV, and now it's more interactive. I find people use YouTube in two ways. Use it as a database like Google. Search out a product or a video, you watch it, you consume it, that's it. This is more like Facebook, where it's very social media, community-based, And thanks, Susie. And that's the way it should be. Like if you're doing it, why are you doing it not, or why do it live if you don't have that live interaction? So
yeah, absolutely. I see Absolute Mayhem is asking me a question here. He's asking, what are my favorite guitar shops in Montreal or maybe Ottawa? I go up to Ottawa once in a while. I'm not familiar. The only shops I've been to in Ottawa when I've been there was Steve's. But in the Montreal area, one of my favorite shops, it's actually a little mom and pop shop called the Kit's Music Store. It's a little shop there. It's been open since '85, and I got most of my older guitars there. It's a really cool shop. Other than that, I go to places like where Ben goes, basically, Long and McQuaid and places like that.
That's my second choice. I stick with Ardens mainly, but yes, I do attend. And I will say, I was going to call them the Evil Empire, as I usually do, but because I always expect when those doors open to hear the Death Star theme. Which is funny because who was it? Guitar Hack. He came down for a visit, and he said, "Well, let's check out your Long McQuaid, because you're in a small town, and we actually have a pretty big location considering." Like I did the tour video of the store on here not too long ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so we walk in, and at that time, I maybe knew I didn't even know I knew how many people worked there that I did. I knew one guy who he was from another store that shut down prior to that. And so I walk in the door. We're not 2 steps in the door. I hear, "Hey, Ben." I turn, and it's a guy who owns a local studio who works there as well part-time. Well, when in between studio projects, I'm like, "Hey, Todd." Here, "Hey, Ben." "Hey, Travis." "Hey, Ben." I'm like, "God damn it." He's like, "I thought you knew him coming here." I'm like, "Yeah, but I know the area."
Yeah. That's cool.
Imperial March, Ben's new closing jam. Unbelievable, says. And Wilfrell says that was his wedding song. Nice.
Yeah. They're not all the same, though. The Long and McQuaid, some of them are a little bit different depending. I've been to the one up in Quebec City, and that one, wow, that one has a real nice setup, man. And if you look on, because when you check sometimes the guitars that they have on, they always seem to have some really nice guitars on deals at the Quebec City location.
Yeah. Well, that was like this location seemed to be like a warehouse, the dumping ground for a lot of gear. Like I'm like, why do they have so much product here? Like just for the size of the area.
Yeah.
And I heard, well, yeah, because the warehouse fills up, so they just flood out to all their stores, and then they're big on inter-store transfers. And I will say, quite impressive. When I was working on Mayhem's Flying V, I had to get a replacement bridge. We sourced out the bridge at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and they found one in Canada. It was in Edmonton. For those who don't know, that's about 2,000 miles away. It's across the country. They had that bridge in store within 24 hours for me. Like I was shocked. I was like,
"That's amazing."
I don't know how you physically did that. just because I'm thinking the amount of hands it has to get through, even if it's priority, and I'm just picturing one of those cartoons where everyone's handing off this envelope. It needs a bridge, high priority. You got it.
Yeah, no, sometimes the way some stuff gets delivered so quickly, it's unreal.
Yeah.
I see here. Absolute Mayhem was asking if I would consider doing a video of that guitar store. Yeah, I was. I actually have in one of my videos, the one I did a video on my Strat for Jamal actually, and I mentioned that store in there. I was gonna start filming and doing videos in that guitar store because I'm friends with the owner, and he had told me cool, kind of like the way you do with Ardent Music and everything. And then, well, unfortunately, the situation we have now, so that's why I haven't really gone there. But when things clear up, I'll definitely consider doing that. You can keep watching, and I'll get some videos in from that music store. It's a cool little shop. It's a really small shop.
Well, I love having the backdrop of guitars. When you're out on the sales floor when you're shooting a demo, but because one, it's also an excuse to do a quick demo that's not too in depth. Yeah, but right now, because business is still slow with a lot of people staying home unless you have to be, those poor employees, there's like 4 employees walking around this big store, and I'm playing loud, for it to come on to get picked up properly by the mic. Otherwise, it just sounds like ass, or you hear me hitting the strings acoustically more than anything else. Yeah. And like the one set of videos, Travis is like, "Oh, I'm going to hook you up." And he sets me up with a Marshall half stack. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm playing through a JCM 800 studio mini head. All right, cool. And then he's like, he apologizes for not having any cool pedals.
Okay.
All right, well, you got a bunch of Wazacraft stuff there. I think that'll suffice, So I grabbed a Wazacraft Blues driver. I'm like, I've never tried one. Plug it in, dial in a tone. Yeah, there we go. But playing live, and it's funny too because we've come to the conclusion Fender is doing super low output pickups these days to get that really classic glassy sound. Okay. Because I'll dial in the amp and I'll demo a Fender first, and twice it's happened with the EVH Shark. It happened, and with the PRS 594 I recently demoed. The guitar, you'd swear I turned up the amp another full spot, like from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, because I was like, blam, damn, it starts blasting. Yeah. And there's one video, if you listen really quiet, you can hear an employee hear, holy shit, just kind of off in the background. You got to listen real, like only headphone users will pick it up. And I don't remember which one it was. I'm just like, yeah. And because I didn't crack up, I'm like, screw it, let's just keep going with it. Yeah. Hey, Martin Lemaire. Good to see you, Martin.
Unfucking believable.
Has Francis tried the Spark yet?
I didn't, and my wife's in the chat, so I don't know if I should say. I came close to buying one. There was a guy on Kijiji that was selling one in my area, and I was talking with him, and I came very close to, but I said, you know what, I think I got a little bit too much right now, so I'm going to wait before I do something.
The nice thing about Kijiji deals is you'll always get your money back.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you completely overpay, and, well, that's on you.
Yeah.
But depends on how bad you want it, because I had that happen. The guy had a pedal he was going to deliver, and then he's like, I can't make it. And I'm like, I will come to you if you don't mind. And I drove, I think, 40 minutes each way, because I'm like, I'm still getting a deal on the pedal, even with the gas I'm burning. So I'm like, I don't care. And he's like, I can't believe you drove out here just for this pedal. I'm like, yeah, I'm using it on my YouTube show tonight. And that was my Cattle and Bread tremolo.
Cool. Yeah, I've done a couple of Kijiji deals recently for the new setup on my board. Basically, I got you get some really good deals, sometimes. So it's cool to do that.
We have a Peter DiMarzio in the chat here.
That's my dad. Hey, Pa, how you doing?
Nice. See, fellow Canuck thing. You get the family involved. It raises the numbers up,
Yeah.
And we got Nick from Amp Top Demos, who I believe is my guest next Sunday. I believe.
Cool.
He can confirm that with me. He may or may not have just bought a Boss ES8. Nice.
Cool. Ian, yes, it's my dad, basically. He's asking if there's any relation. Yes.
Craig says to your dad, your boy rocks. Love it.
My dad was very supportive of me, from the start. And I have to thank him, it's because my dad that I play guitar. he basically, when I wanted to learn how to play guitar, I used to watch my cousins play, and that's where I learned, that's where I got the inspiration to want to play. My older cousins played guitar, and my dad bought me my first acoustic when I was like 10 years old, and it was cool. Yeah.
See, funny enough, when I got back into playing, played as a teenager into my 20s, then kind of put it aside. And then I got into doing live sound. And then after about a year and a half of that, I'm like, screw this. I got to get up on stage myself. And the one person who said, give your head a shake was my dad.
That's cool.
Because he'd been there. He'd done that. He's like, really, dude? And he's like, what are bands making these days? So I told him, he's like, I made that a night in 1985. You're going out there and 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and making the same money I did. I'm like, yeah, but I'm out there playing, Dad. I just, it was great. I had a day job as well, did that or what have you, and then went full time into music, and then scaled that back, and then it was crazy. I think at one point I had a day job and played in 3 bands for a brief period. God. It was like a month there where. And didn't get a lot of sleep for about a month.
I can imagine.
I got to quit one of these because this is ridiculous. But of course, it's like you quit one, another one breaks up, and you're down to one band. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ramen noodles, lazy person's meal, or the musician's meal. My knees hurt because it's the affordable meal. More ramen means more pedals. Hey, that's the design.
Man, the chat's going fast, I'll tell you.
It is moving pretty good. I think I saw we got 60 watching and 33 thumbs up. So if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. Paul Fuchs says, I chopped off my thumb years ago and mailed it to the hospital the day Ben was born.
Oh, my goodness.
Preston Smith graduated craft dinner. Nice.
What's this question? My holy grail pedal. I'm hoping my holy grail pedal is my mystery pedal that I just got. I'm still trying to learn it though.
Some pedals, they just dial in right away, and others you do have to play with them a bit. Some they're worth playing with to find that right tone, and some I just you don't. If I can't dial in something at least somewhat usable in 10 minutes, like what, this probably isn't the pedal for me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and basically. I agree with you with that, but the thing is also what I noticed is that certain pedals react differently when they're put in the chain between other pedals, and that's been my the tough spot right now. I've been trying to figure out which pedal, and I get another one that I think, oh, this is a cool pedal, but then I put it in my chain and it just doesn't work, So
yep. Well, see, now that I get, because that tells me you're seeing the potentials there, and it's just finding, does it play well with others? Does it not?
Yeah,
that was like. Honestly, with my signature pedal, I like it on its own, but it in front of any other drive pedal, I was like, yes, because that's the thing. It's the perfect, icing on top, type thing, and it's great because you can do an EQ shift as a lead boost, or just use it as. Well, I think I said to Mayhem, it's taken all my other drive pedals now, made it a 1A and a 1B. Because I can use them with or without the nice drive pushing them.
Yeah.
And it seems to play with everything quite well so far. So
somebody was saying, what is it? Craig, show me you want to see my gear?
Nice. And the sexy bearded Viking wizard, the badass Aussie, says, have either of you where'd it go? Have either of you gone down the unusual instrument path like traditional Asian or medieval instruments?
Can't say that I have.
I did threaten to play triangle in a gent band.
That's so cool.
Well, because every time there's that syncopated da-dun, and there's a stop, and all of a sudden there's a goddamn Chinese crash every time. And I just thought, ting!
Ting!
Unfortunately, when I did live sound, 9 times out of 10, the gigs I did, it was 6 gent bands, 1 cool rock band, and 1 cool metal band. And the gent band, they go, how do we sound? I'm like, you've clearly never used stage monitors in your life. And, okay. Question for Francis, what's your number one guitar? Show it.
My number one guitar? My number one guitar is my Strat.
Nice. Hurricane Moon says, "Give me a lute and I'll play Voodoo Child." Nice. Let's see this Strat.
See, this is my number one guitar. I bought this in 1998. It was built in 96. It's a 50th anniversary. I don't know if you can see it's got the 50th anniversary.
Very nice.
It's got the gold lace pickups on it. I actually made a video on it on my channel. I did that for Jamal. He was asking about lace pickups, so I made a video on it. And it's funny. I don't know. You had Mike Bradley on your show, I believe, right?
I have.
I saw him, yeah.
A few times.
And Mike Bradley has this exact same guitar. And he just did a video on his guitar. And I was talking with him, and he actually commented in my video that I made of this guitar. He said, basically, I have his twin, because he bought his in 98, and it's also in 96. It's the exact same guitar.
That's crazy.
So this is my number one. It's a pretty cool guitar. What I like about it is that the lace pickups don't pick up noise, right? So it's kind of like almost like having a noiseless pickup. So that's what's cool.
Hey, Michael Easter, Nikki's here. Nice. Paul is changing his name to Paul Coombs. I'm not going to lie, that's not bad. Justin Cox has a 94 anniversary. Nice. Brinkley almost bought some of those for their 82 Tokai Silver Star. I have a set of lace sensors here that were sent in to me, and one of these days they'll end up in my Strat to make it a full-on Clapton clone of the period when he was playing that pewter gray Strat. That's when I bought it. I was like, it's the same as Clapton's. It just has different pickups. And
which lace pickups are they? Are they the gold ones or are they the red and blue?
I have no idea. Okay. They look white. You say the tops are white.
I think you can tell by the writing on the lens on the cover.
Right.
Like mine are written in gold, so I think those are the gold. The ones that are red or blue, they're written in red or blue on them. I think
they might be golds.
Okay, so they would be the same as these ones, basically.
Yeah, and then I did the Sprizzell locking tuners because Fender didn't have them at the time, and I took the Strat in to have a locking nut installed on it because I was sick of it going at a tune. And the guy's like, "I'm not installing a locking nut on a Strat neck. Like for me to drill 2 holes through that because it didn't have the top mount nuts at the time. It had to go through the back." He's like, "I'm not doing it." He goes, "However, Clapton's been using this stuff, and I got to set in on a whim. Do you want to check them out?" And I was like, "Oh snap, okay." So I brought the Sprizzells home, and the weirdest thing was when I took off, he said I might have to drill out the bigger hole for the tuners to fit through. I said, okay. He says, and you're going to have to drill a little hole for the little nipple on it to keep it from rotating. Because the Fender ones have 2 nipples. These ones have 1. All right. So I set up an appointment, Ardens Music here in town, to have them install the tuners because I wasn't going to drill out the headstock or anything. Go in. Guy takes off the first one, puts the other one, boom, right on, starts putting on. I'm like, what the hell? How? He's like, yeah, it fits right in. And from the factory, there was 3 holes on the back of the headstock, depending on what tuners they used. So it already had the 3rd hole drilled. I was like, well, screw that. I'm not paying you. I'll just do that myself.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Nikki.
That's cool. Hey, Mark Scout.
Looks good tonight. Milt
Mark
just
Scout
subscribed to you.
Thank you. My best friend is here, Mark Scout. You just, he got to babysit my guitar. You got to do a lot of things for me. You were my roadie, my manager, everything.
Nice. Ben's using a new conditioning cream rinse. Well, I did wash it today. That's right, Paul. I said nipples. And some of you may have noticed there's still the logo up in the corner. I forgot to upgrade StreamYard. I'll maybe do that tomorrow or this week. So we will have the pro version because all the fine patrons and channel members have allowed that. I just forgot to do it. Got the money transferred into the account this week and forgot to do it. But Tom enjoying Crenar's demo by looks of things. Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, Susie, washing helps. I think I'm making my sister nauseous.
How's Amanda coming along with the guitar playing? I really like her to the Squire. Was it a Jaguar?
It's a Jazzmaster.
Jazzmaster, yeah.
Cool guitar, the guitar shape, it's a little awkward for her. She really likes a Wolfgang.
Okay.
So she's like, I really like your Wolfgang. I'm like, bet you do. I really like your Wolfgang. I was like, bet you do. They only made it for 2 years. Bet you do. Yeah. She says, I was actually played this week. I was going to say, now that the girls are back in school, that's going to help free up some time. Hey,
school started in Ontario this week, or
yeah, like which is weird because normally it starts the Tuesday after Labor Day, but I guess they started like Thursday and Friday.
Okay, yeah, they did.
Girls went back to school on different days.
Okay, they did that here too in Quebec. They started the French school was last week or the week before, and the English school was this week. So,
dang. Boner jams, sipping a pumpkin head whilst watching the always handsome Ben Coombs and Francis. Ben, boner shirt on the way. Have a great weekend, everyone. Yes.
Very cool.
Can't wait for the Boner Jams shirt.
Hey, aren't you supposed to drink a shot when people give you a...
Well, we are now that you mentioned it. Jeez. All right. So we started answering the question, and then we offended the guy to the point where he had to do a super chat. Thank you, sir. Yeah, like the close with gent triangle for me. So have you ever gone down the route of an unusual instrument?
Not really. I mean,
hey,
the only instruments I've played other than guitar, bass, and stuff like that was I think when I was in I've played the recorder in elementary school, which I think everybody does.
Yep.
I've played the in high school.
Just show us the intro to Stairway. Screw the rest.
Yeah, and in high school, I think I played the trombone, but that's about it. I didn't play any other. I got some triangles too in the house. My kids have triangles. I can play them for you if you want.
I did play trumpet for a year in high school. I forgot about that. Nothing too weird. Always wanted to try a didgeridoo though.
Oh, my mom bought that for my brother-in-law, man. That's cool, man.
My sister wants bongos.
Cool. Absolute mayhem was saying.
Demos. His fiance has a Bellicula. Did I say that right? No, I didn't. I don't know. It's one of those Greek instruments. I believe it has 8 to 10 strings.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I'll try to have Francis take up flute, Tina says.
Well, my wife plays...
I got to do sound for one band that had a flute player.
Okay.
And we have been friends ever since because this guy showed up and he forgot a patch cable. And I'm like, what the hell does a flute player need a patch cable for, right?
Yeah.
He ran his flute through a pedal board, Francis.
Are you kidding me?
I am not. I shit you not.
What did he have on that pedal board?
He had a delay. He had a reverb. No biggie. The Boss CS2 was nice to see. The phaser was even cooler to see.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And then he had a gain pedal. I don't know if he had a wah or not. I don't remember a wah.
I'd love to hear that through a wah.
Wait, you do a flute with a phaser? Yeah, I'm like, do you want to go outside and smoke weed? He goes, no, I don't do that anymore. I'm like, you should. He goes, I don't need to. I'm like, clearly.
That's so cool.
Bagpipes are hard to play, Hugh Caldwell says.
Yeah.
Truth Guitar Mess, I've seen that with trombone.
Absolute Mayhem was asking to show you my Telecaster.
Nice. And I saw LPD Pedals jumped in here. Good to see Lawrence. And I do want to say as well, if anyone is interested in picking up the Nice Drive A from LPD Pedals, it is a limited run of 10 and only available by emailing Lawrence, which is lpdpedals@gmail.com. Ian says, spoons. We all need to play spoons. Spoons are good. Hey, Dwight Bailey. The Hitman.
Yeah.
Nice. Mickey was in a band that had played clarinet with effects. Very cool.
That's so cool, man. Cowbell. Yeah.
Nice. And yes, Boner Jams has a show the last Wednesday of each month on Johnny Bean's channel at 8 p.m. Eastern. He and Jay have metal penetration. Of course you do. Of course you do. Preston thinks you get a hernia if you try bagpipes.
Do they really weigh that much, bagpipes?
I think you just blow yourself out just trying to blow hard into them. Although the oboe, I was told, burns more brain cells than any other woodwind instrument because you have to blow so hard into an oboe.
You know, when I told you I played trombone in high school, I actually tried out for the oboe, and I couldn't get a sound out of that thing. I spent an hour in the classroom next door trying to get a sound out of it. Could not for the life of me get any sound out of it.
Harp. Nice.
Do you want to see that Telecaster, Ben? The Absolute Mayhem was asking.
Ask me that again, Francis, really?
Sure.
How well do you know me?
Oh,
yeah. You want to see a telly? Uh-huh. When don't I want? Oh.
I don't know if Greg Vanzini's there. He likes this Telecaster a lot.
Oh, snap. Look at that.
Yeah. This was given to me by my wife.
Tina is awesome.
Yeah, I complained. I go, you know, when a guy gets engaged to a woman, he gets her a nice big ring, and a guy normally gets nothing. And my wife got me this.
Damn. Is that a made in Japan?
This is a made in Japan. Yes, it is.
Do you know how I could tell?
How could you tell?
The output jack.
Ah, okay.
You know, they do square that off ever so slightly, but they do it more on the made in Japans. It's if you notice it, it's a made in Japan. Basically, because it's just that.
Damn,
you know what? I think this is the first time I've seen a Bigsby on a telly since I've been doing YouTube. That a fellow YouTube person has. Oh wait, no. Jay Leonard J does have a Bigsby on his. I do.
Okay.
Touche.
This telly it sounds amazing, man.
Okay, so I've seen two, and they're both Canadians that have them. So.
There you go. Yeah, so it's a really nice guitar. I like this guitar a lot. It's got a really nice sound. It's a 62 reissue basically, and it's pretty nice.
Smith says his wife bought him his Annihilation Flying V.
You got a cool wife too, man.
Yep.
Cool.
But Guitar Man 45 does not have cool parents because they started him out on accordion. Well. There is a lineage that with the channel, I can say, because Ardens Music, our very first show sponsor, was formerly, before that, was known as Ardens Accordion Academy.
Cool. You may not like the accordion playing there, but I can tell you, coming from an Italian community here in Montreal, there's a lot of accordion players out here, and there's a lot of restaurants that have these accordion players playing ambient music.
Every time I think accordion, I just think of Schmengi Brothers. That's the problem.
Yeah. You know, my wife just said something here. She said she actually bought that guitar from under me, and there's a story behind that. You know, I was actually at a music store near my house at the time, and I wanted to buy that guitar.
I just saw this comment from Mayhem.
Okay, what do you say?
My wife eye rolls when I say the name Ben. It's probably because every time we go out on guitar safari at the local pawn shops, he never leaves empty-handed. He buys a guitar almost every time.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Bad influence.
You see, my wife bought that from under my nose, that Telecaster, basically. Because I went to the store, I wanted to buy it, it was on the wall. And I was talking to my wife about it. She was my girlfriend at the time. I said, I think I might go back there. My wife went there before I went there. She bought it for me. And the music store owner, he put it aside. And when I went there, he told me some BS story, basically saying that, I sold him somebody came in and took it. And she hid it at her parents' house under the bed for months before she gave it to me. And I was like, she's like, well, you can buy the Mexican one because they started making the Mexican ones. I go, no, I wanted that one. And if they don't have that one, I don't want anyone. So. Yeah.
My sister's laughing at Mayhem. That is hilarious, though.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I see a few people saying Steve Vai started out on accordion. Yes, Weird Al still rocks the accordion. I like Weird Al.
That's
I
true.
like the Weird Al face. I know that. Oh, Guitar Man 45 even played some polka. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with the Schmengi brothers. Michael Easter says, this summer I bought a Mexican Fender Tele. Great value for the buck. So fun. Damn straight. Everybody should have a Tele.
Yeah.
Hey, Thunder Falcon.
Accordions in French restaurants at the Vieux Montréal. Yeah. Brisley Adams. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait for places to open up at the Old Port. It's a place I like to hang out in Montreal. It's nice.
No doubt. Well, I can say my ex did buy some gear for me, but it was immediately, here's the receipt, and you owe me the next time you play a gig. And we get paid out at the end of the night. She'd be right there. Where's my money? I'm like, damn, can I eat first? Mark Scout says his son's learning to play the accordion.
Yeah, his son is also learning to play the drums and everything. Just the other day, I was on FaceTime with him, and his son was playing me a ukulele. That was pretty cool.
Dang, you're right, Will. Yeah. We got 71 in the chat tonight.
Very cool. Don't forget to put a thumbs up for Ben, guys.
That's like one of my gigs. 71 people.
That's cool, man. You know when it's going to open up to be able to play and stuff in Ontario? It's going to be a while, I think, eh?
I've talked to some people. I see, people putting out these veiled things like, hey, playing a private event today. I'm like, yeah, fuck you, Yeah. Private events. That's the big thing. Or outside, like one guy was saying it was like a store anniversary thing. So they still want to have a celebration. So they just had a band outside in the parking lot, socially distanced, all that. And I didn't care. He goes, I'm gigging again. I'm like, you're lucky man.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm seeing or hearing some like single duo stuff, nothing full band, but single and duo. Greg in bars. Stan Misick, who was bass player from Harum Scarum, and Sass Jordan, among others. He and I are friends on Facebook, and he posted he started gigging in Toronto just a couple of weeks ago. And what they did was it was two guys on bar stools, up on stage, and they had plexiglass around both of them. So they look like action figures, kind of thing.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be a while.
Hey, it works. And he said it was amazing because everyone was happy to be out. And it wasn't, he said, I didn't feel like a jukebox, he had said, where, everyone's talking and blah, blah, blah. Because of the social distance, everybody was just sitting there focused and listening to the music. He's like, I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. I haven't played in a bar atmosphere like that in ages.
I think that it's going to change people's mentality. I think that once things get better, I think people will appreciate more, the things that we took for granted, basically.
Michael Easter says, I think I dated a poster of Sass Jordan in 87.
Yeah, I was with you, Mark, when you bought both your guitars. Yeah, I remember. You got your Blue Strat and your Yamaha acoustic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Metal shows car mosh pits. Yeah. Dang. If anybody follows AFL, which is Aussie Rules Football, I believe. Football, my band Cone Smashers has recently released our first song, bit of fun, called Bring the Granny to the Gravel, up on digital platforms this week. More to come. Awesome.
Very cool. I'll check that out.
It's going to be also available on your YouTube channel, good sir. And you don't need to do another super chat to answer that. I'm just curious on that.
That's cool. I'll check it out for sure.
Yes. I'm just going to do a quick photo of that so I don't forget to check that out.
What's on my pedal board, Craig? You seriously want to see my pedal board?
So one thing I want to do is start incorporating a second camera when I'm playing. That'll be shooting over the pedal board. Like Steve from Boston has this flame cam for the up close of his guitar. I'm going to have the pedal board cam. So, because you've seen on Monday nights, people like, what's your signal path? And I'd be like, all right, whatever's lit up is on. Here you go, folks. There it is. And you'll be like, oh, snap, that's what he's in. You can check out, hopefully, if it's clear enough, you'll be able to see what settings are there. And if you want to take a screenshot, people are more than welcome.
It's not bad, actually.
On YouTube channel. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, cool, man. Cool. Check it out for sure. I have a second camera, and I do that sometimes when I'm playing with pedals and stuff. I have the second camera over. The only problem is that I notice is when you want to show your pedals properly, the camera has to be on this side of your pedal board to show it. So you got the camera between your legs while you're trying to play, basically. So if you put it the other way and flip it, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't work. Right. So
that's true. Yeah, I think I'm going to do I've got a few mic boom stands, so I think I'll just put on a boom over the pedal board, and that way I can still more or less see.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan in New Jersey. Christopher, good to see you, man. Awesome.
Do you want to see my pedal board? I can pick it up easily if you want to see it. That's up to you.
Yeah, ask me that again. Come on, Francis. I have a thing for pedals. You may have noticed.
Yes, I noticed.
Hey, Paul Ewing of Stompbox Steels. Good to see you, sir. All right. What's your favorite position on a 5-way switch on a Strat?
For those of you that saw my pedal board build, you saw
all with multi-levels and
So this is just a temporary pedal here. I've been testing with amp sims, so I tried out with my Joyo pedal here, but this is what I have basically right now. I got the Ibanez. Let me see if I can just hold this here. There we go. So I got the Ibanez wah, and it's going into, this was the mystery pedal, and I'll be doing a review on this shortly. Nice. Just I want to learn it. This is called the King Klon from TL Pedals. It's got a Klon circuit and a King of Tone circuit in here, modified a little bit. So I will look at that. I'm going to my amp simulator. I was actually considering maybe getting a Strymon Iridium. I don't know what you guys think. Maybe let me know. Then I go to the MD200 for all my modulation needs, which is controlled by the expression pedal.
Right.
And then from there, I go up to my delay and my reverb. So this is basically my
pretty simple setup.
Yeah, but everything you need is there.
Meanwhile, I'm separating mine into two boards. I'm going to have one board just for overdrives and then one board for basically your effects loop stuff. Just all my modulation, reverbs, and delays.
Yeah, I went down that road. You know what it is, basically. When you go down that rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
I've had two pedal boards. I've had I basically scaled it down. This is my scaled down version because it came crazy. I had two pedal boards and I had no more room, and I was looking to build this humongous thing, and I got a bad back, and I'm like, no, I got to scale
Lawrence
it down.
That's a nice clean build.
Thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think when we ended the last band, I had 13, 14 pedals on my board. Richie was running two pedal boards, one on either side of his mic stand, and I think he was running at least a dozen pedals himself. And the bass player would just shake his head. He's like, "Really, really?" Like that. But the funny part is, for the longest time, he gave Rich carte blanche. Oh yeah, you could have as many, but he'd always give me a hassle for having pedal board. And I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Well, Rich has all this stuff. Why do you need it?" I said, "Well, I do just as much as he does, dude."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
If you think, like I have pedals, yes, I do. But I found it crazy. When I met my bass player, he had more pedals than me.
Wow.
And just recently, he went down the rabbit hole like I did too. And he was up to two pedal boards, basically. But now he streamlined also. Because, once you get, it's hard to transport all that. And you want to make it as simple as possible, basically.
Because weighed almost as much as my amp.
Because when you have a huge pedal board like that, then if you have an issue and then trying to pinpoint which wire or where it's coming from, sometimes when you're doing it live, sometimes you just got to bypass everything and the hell with it. You'll figure it out for next show, I guess.
Oh yeah, so. That's a good thing about playing multiple sets. At least I was like, set break, I'm rebuilding my pedal board.
Yeah.
Will Varela says I have 2 boards. I usually iron on the other one. Ooh, there's maybe I should make a pedal board out of the ironing board. That I could do a lot of pedals on an ironing board.
My goodness.
Because you could do like 2 rows of 20 probably at least. Wow, that you're picking up multiple radio stations at once. It's nothing but static. Yeah, but I'm writing isometrics, honest. Yeah, you're still running through 40 pedals. All right, see you guitar method.
Oh.
Hey, we got Aaron from Albus Band here. Good to see you, brother Aaron.
Hey, Albus Band, yeah. Cool. I subbed the Albus Band after seeing them on your show. They're really cool, man. They play some really nice music, man.
Yeah, really nice guys. All of them, too. I was really lucky there. Was it last summer before Summer NAMM? I flew into Chicago. Aaron picked me up at the airport. I stopped at a convenience store to grab something to eat. Just something, to snack on. Mm-hmm. Headed straight to his band practice. He had to do something. I don't know. He had to make a phone call or something. He comes downstairs in the studio about 2 minutes behind me. I've already got like a joint in one hand and a beer in the other. He's like, "Oh, I see you settled in." I'm like, "Yep, doing all right."
There you go.
All right, see you, Janice.
Bye, Janice.
Yeah, and then I heard the music, and I was just like, it took me right back. Like you would have heard it, like early '90s, punk show, indie show type stuff. Like that's that vibe of the band Rusty. That which is that kind of post Doughboys. All I heard was, especially in his vocals, the way Aaron's very subtle, and then he'll scream out a chorus, and I'm just like, you sound like Ken McNeil from Rusty. And he's like, who is this band Rusty you keep referring to? And so when we got in his truck to leave practice, I'm like, this is Rusty. And they play, he's like, oh shit. I was like, yeah, you sound just like the 90s, but in a good way.
Yeah, no, they sound fantastic. Yeah. Bye, Fruitcake Tony. You're going to be lurking. It was nice getting to know you too, man.
Tony.
Yeah, no, I was listening to their songs after, and I think they just added a new one a couple of days ago also there. Really cool, man. Yeah. Shopping for a Les Paul right now. Is that Craig?
Hey, Vintage Sounds. That is so weird. I was thinking about Vintage Sounds last night, thinking, I haven't seen you around in a while, brother. That's so trippy. One of the OGs on the channel.
Cool.
Well, since we had some super chats, I kind of gulped that wine down a little bit. Oops. I do appreciate the support, folks. All right, so what is that ES8, a Boss ES8 that Nick from Amp Top Demos is talking about?
Oh, ES8 is a controller, I think. You're able to I'm not sure if the ES8 has, because I know the MS3 has effects and you can control. The ES8, I think, is strictly just a controller, kind of like those gig rig type of controllers, basically.
Oh, okay, yeah, effect switching system. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Only 8? Oh, you're really limiting yourself, Nick. No. That's the reason I haven't got a switcher, because I'm like, do they make like a 16? Well, yeah, but it's like $2,000. I'm like, well, I can stomp on my pedals. I can buy a lot of replacement pedals for $2,000.
Yeah. But if you start putting that in and with all the other pedals, you're really going to need to use that ironing board.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll have the pedal train Terra, but it'll be 2 levels. One just for power supplies and pedals, and then all the switching on top. 2 roadies to carry it in.
My goodness. Hey, Preston Smith. That's all right, man. Pedals are for everybody.
Hell yeah. Hell. When it was the last gig I played was I subbed on bass, and I built a pedal board for that show.
Cool.
I was like, do they use reverb on bass? Not really. Well, I am. What about delay? No, you never use delay on a bass. I'm like, well, I'm using slapback.
There you go.
What? I'm like, yeah. And then, of course, I had one of Lawrence's boosts to drive the amp. So that was the deal. They supplied the amp, and I was like, what are you giving me? And they're like, an Ampeg. I'm like, ooh, I can drive that. Tube? Yep, perfect.
Very cool.
All right, see you, Konar. I know it's a late night for you, man. Cheers. You're pretty OG too, Will. I think Jamie, though, or Vintage Sounds has been subbed to me since day one, pretty much.
Cool.
It's crazy. It was just so weird to see him in here. I was just like, yeah, I haven't seen Fincher Sounds in a while. Temple
That's
boards
really
are amazing. Yes, they are, Lawrence. Milt says, nice shirt. Thank you, sir. Great band.
Yeah, the Rolling Stones. Very good band.
I got into it on Twitter with a person today of different opinions, as happens in social media from time to time. And he accused me of following the god known as our government. I said, I don't follow any god. He goes, whatever, everybody follows a god. I'm like, there you got me. I follow Ronnie Wood. Ronnie is my god. He goes, see, I told you. And he's like, and that was the end of the argument. I'm like, really? The fact I admit that Ronnie Wood is my god? Okay. I'm like, you have no idea who Ronnie Wood is, I bet, buddy. But whatever.
Yeah, Ronnie Wood is good, man. I like. Actually, my father back in when Expo was in Montreal,
86.
he was doing like security and everything, and 76. Yeah, he was doing. Yeah, no, it was in the 70s. Was it 67? No, maybe it was 67.
Oh, 67. See,
it was 67. Yeah, and my father was doing like security in Expo 67, and he got to watch the Stones live back then when they were performing. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm mixing up with the Olympics in 76.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brisley. Confirmed. I keep saying she. I'm sorry, Brisley. Hey, David Nesdall. There he is.
Hello.
We were mentioning earlier, David, that you had called me, and you'll be going live probably at around the bottom of the hour.
See, I wore a Canadian shirt.
I noticed that.
You know?
I could have worn my other Stone shirt that has the maple leaf in the tongue of the logo. I usually wear that one every Canada Day. For sure.
Cool.
Nice. What about AC/DC's rhythm player? Malcolm Young was one of the best rhythm players, period. Will Varela, yeah. I will agree. Like a top 5 rhythm players, I'd say Malcolm's up there. Somebody mentioned Keith Richards, definitely.
Keith, absolutely, yeah.
You know who I'm going to say? Paul Stanley.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, there's probably a few nights where they probably just kind of turned Ace down, except for the solos. And of course, Izzy Stradlin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Love Izzy.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate the information you're putting there. So I was asking about the Strymon Iridium, and he's telling me for recording, it's pretty good.
Nice. Thank you, Ben Tom. Yes, for those who would like to join the channel. I think I lost a couple channel members with the rotation of the month. Maybe it could just be lapsed. That's fine. Brisley says, I was impressed by Ronnie Wood, too, at the Stones concert 2 years ago. His slide guitar is wicked, very musical and full of mojo. Definitely.
Hurricane Moon is saying Gilby Clark wasn't too shabby either. No, he wasn't that bad either. He was pretty good, man.
That's true. Scott Ian. I'm thinking strictly rhythm players. Guys that you take an occasional lead is one thing, but guys that were pretty much the rhythm player.
Yeah.
That's why like someone had mentioned Alex Lifeson. I'm like, yeah, but they're all virtuosos in that band.
Yeah.
They do everything. Jeff Waters rhythm riffage. Nice.
Thanks, Bent, Tom, for putting my channel up there. I appreciate it.
Rick Parfit. Nice choice. I agree. Nice. Yes, and those who are celebrating, happy Labor Day weekend to those that are celebrating.
Absolutely. It's good. An extra day off, it helps.
Awesome. Sexy Beater Viking Wizard, the Badass Aussie. Linked me in band shirts on Twitter. Nice. Hetfield. Definitely Hetfield.
Yeah. Hey, very cool, man. There's 66 people watching and 66 thumbs up. That's really cool.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, not bad at all. Some IKEA racks for my pedals. Yeah, I know.
Tom? Just put a link to Dave's channel in here.
Cool.
Yeah, Dave and Ty have been doing some amazing stuff on the Thursday show, and then Dave's been doing the Sunday stuff as well, which I've been catching on replay. John Lennon. Nice, cool. Tina. Nice choice.
Yeah.
Dog Post says, saw the Stones a couple times in the 70s. Week show in pajamas. Boo. Ronnie Wood live with Richards and the New Barbarians was something else. Yes, that is possibly one of my favorite live recording. Like, you find some of the live stuff, the live shows are here on YouTube, like just the harmony of Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood singing together, and Keith's just off to the side doing his thing, just playing fills or whatever's needed. And, doing a lot of, obviously Ronnie solo stuff, and it's great. Cool. Any new tees or merch? Hint, hint, hint. Nothing new, Will. However, there's 2 ways to find merch for me. There's spreadshirt.ca down below, link. And also, if you go to Vibraprint or vibraprintonline.com, I really should remember that damn website. Do a search for Canucks with Guitars. Timmy's put up a bunch of stuff. Why do I call him Timmy? Because I've known Tim since he's 14. We were both 14 years old. Went to high school together. We raced cars together for a dozen years. He's like a brother to me. He worked at my parents' restaurant growing up as well in high school. Like, we're really close. And he's out in BC now, and he does all my printing stuff.
Cool. That's where you had your masks there that made also there?
Yeah, I was actually wearing my Canucks with Guitars mask out yesterday. I have the Canucks with Guitars logo on the mask as well. I walked into my local vape shop I used to work at. My buddy's just like, that's awesome. Just because I haven't been able to be here like I used to, keep on rocking. Well, you keep on rocking too, Harley. Thank you, Bent Tom. Yes, use coupon code Canuck and save 10%. While we're at it, want to thank Lawrence Petross of Lawrence LPD Pedals, not only releasing my pedal, but beta testing for him. Check out LPD Pedals, supporter of the channel, lpdpedals.com. Flipside Music out of Denver, Colorado. Ardens Music. Of course, Reno Fin Custom Guitars, maker of the Ben Coombs signature guitar, and my line of various pickups for all your pickup needs. And also Tesi Switch. Check out Tesi Switch, not only for your kill switches, but guitar accessories, whether it be strings, picks, pick guards, pickups, Keeley pedals, I believe Earthquaker pedals. Use coupon code Canucks and save 15%. And also, I am a Tesi Switch artist. I am at the bottom of the page. Why? Because I should be at the bottom. Brad Whitford from Aerosmith. Good call, Keith H. Very good call.
Cool.
Thanks, Will. Does Tesi Switch make the knobs for LPD as well? That I don't know. They're similar. They look like he does the Helix knobs. I know Tesi does. Rad.
Okay. Those,
talk to Rob.
The soft knobs that when you touch them, they can...
No, to get rid of those cheaper plastic ones on your Helix, he does nice anodized aluminum ones. Color match. Okay. You can do various colors.
Cool.
Brad Whitford has one of the best Strat tones in rock music. I would say so. Hey, Eddie Van Haskell. Good to see you, man.
You know what, Ben? I got a treat for you. I don't know if you see the Les Paul there.
I do.
I'll show you this Les Paul, and I'll tell you it's a special Les Paul. It's a Les Paul that used to belong to my cousin back in 1976. That came back to the family. Yes. My cousin used to own this. In 1976, he bought this used. I'm not sure what year it is. I believe it could be 1972. It's an original. I think it's been pretty good shape. It belonged to my cousin. He sold it to a friend of his.
Nice shape. Let me see the top again. It's a 2-piece top or 3-piece?
It's a 3-piece. 3-piece, and you see it's a It's a sandwich, basically.
They're all
the pancake. Okay. And the keys are not original. My cousin had swapped them out for some other keys, and I wanted the double ring. I wanted the original keys, sort of. So I bought some double ring keys, and I put them on there.
My first electric guitar was a 72 Les Paul Deluxe.
Okay.
In tobacco burst. So that's right away. You're like, do you want to check out Les Paul? I'm like, that Deluxe back there? Because I recognize the mini hums right away.
Yeah. See, actually, my cousin sold this to one of his friends, and he's a collector, and he's hung on to it for decades. And he wanted to give it to me as a present. So I got this as a present a couple of years ago. I mean, this is really cool. You know, and he's known me since I was a kid. When I was born, and he gave me this as a present. And it's a really cool guitar. It's it's got a lot of history because it belonged to my cousin. My cousin wrote a lot of songs on this, did a lot of gigs on it with this.
Beautiful.
And
what I didn't know until I was talking to brother JJ's House of Jams is P90 fits directly in those holes.
Yeah, when I got this guitar, the person had put P90s in, but he had kept the original pickups.
Oh, nice.
And when I got it, I had the original pickups put back in because I wanted to bring it back to its original state, basically.
Sure.
And so yeah, that's basically it. I put it back together, put the old pickups back in, and I changed the keys out for the original style keys with the double ring on them. And that's it. But this is a really cool guitar. I did a challenge with it too, and this thing sounds pretty nice, man. It's pretty cool.
I do miss mine now because what has mini hums these days, right? Like you're pretty much Firebird. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, basically that's it. Yes.
Hey, Mike Jones. Good to see you, man. Guitar Man 45 says bought my first Les Paul in '76, custom wine red. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, mine was a tobacco burst.
Tobacco burst, cool. How would I know what year it is, though, Ben? Because I was trying to figure it out. And
serial number?
The serial number, no, because in those years they weren't keeping track of them properly. So it kind of overlaps, and it's not really...
You can contact Gibson.
Yeah?
Yep.
I'll have to check it out.
Let's see here. How far back do I have to go on Instagram to find my old Les Paul? That's the question.
Well, you got a picture. That's cool.
That's all I have left.
Oh, man.
I sold it in the early 90s for $500.
That hurts.
Yeah. I only paid $750, and the guy threw in an original MXR Super Distortion and a Boss CE2 and an amp. So
cool. Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Les Pauls were $500 all day. Used Les Pauls, 70s Les Pauls, just like that. $500. Well, that one would have been about $7, I'd say, at the time. We're getting back.
The year is the first and fifth digit of the serial number. Okay, I'll check that out, Craig. Sexy bearded Viking wizard is a badass Aussie. He's leaving. Oh, that's nice, man.
That was my first. I wish it would focus. Oh yeah, I forgot I don't have autofocus anymore.
That's a nice color. And that was what year you said it was? That was a 1972? Really nice, man.
Guitar Man says he bought his for $565. There you go. All right, see ya, sexy bearded Viking wizard, the badass Aussie. I look forward to checking out that video. Mark Dillon's talking about soldering with my sister. I don't know if my sister's ever tried soldering.
Yeah, my soldering skills are a little... I haven't done it in a while. I actually studied the electronics, so I do know how to solder, but it's been a while since I've done that.
I've got a few soldering projects on the go. I still got to finish that pedal kit of Lawrence's. It's sitting there, almost done. I'm curious to see if it'll work. I'm still batting 50-50 it's going to work, because those trying to read resistor codes, color codes on resistors when they're micro-sized and I'm colorblind, I was like,
that doesn't help, yeah.
Yeah, the reds and the browns, especially, it's like they're so. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, it's a resistor. What's the worst that's going to happen? So Yeah, if I'd say one thing about that kit is I would label each bag like these are resistors 4 and 5. This is, whatever. Thanks, Susie. Antique finish, I think. Yeah, the tobacco burst. I'm sure it's well checked if that guitar is even. I have no idea.
Okay, thanks, Craig. I'll check that out, Craig, man.
Biggest tip about soldering is don't grab the business end. No kidding. It wasn't that there was that one tech school ad for years floating around the internet with the girl with the safety glass and she's holding the soldering iron like choked right down on the end of it for the photo.
Oh.
Let's see if I can knock it out this week, Lawrence. Yeah, but where's the fun in that? That's exactly it. Yes, I'm really curious. Will it work? Thanks, Craig. My sister says she regret not learning about electronics like I did. Yeah. Oh, well, for me, that was, I wouldn't say an easy credit in high school, but I saw it as a way, like, first thing I thought was, hey, I can solder up parts on guitars, like replace output jacks, stuff like that. Yeah. I just want to learn how to solder. Taking the course all by the fourth year, it was just like, it's a credit in high school. Why not? And when half your day is auto shop and electronics shop, I'm like, they call this school? Okay. Which I doubt you could even do anymore. I don't think you could get half a day's worth of shop in a school anymore, if any schools even have shop classes anymore.
I don't think so, not anymore.
Let alone like vocational schools, which both my grandfather and my father did. You kind of chose your trade in grade 9. Figure, okay, I'm going to be a carpenter, or dad was going to be an auto mechanic. Half of his day, every day was auto mechanics, all 4 years of high school. But when you came out, you were essentially a Class A mechanic right out of high school.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I could teach you to solder, sis. Only take you a few minutes.
It's just a matter of practice, honestly. Once you know the technique, it's you gotta solder often. Once you solder often, you learn how to do it.
Solder, yeah, practice and patience. So you can do half of that. We'll just leave it at that. Exactly. Preston's like, I just learned on my own, friends and like, if you burn yourself. Yep.
Yeah, you learn not to do that again after.
Okay, what did Lawrence say there? The key to great soldering is a snifter of scotch before you start and turning on the soldering iron. Yep. Tin the wires. Yep. Flow. Yep. Or to check a soldering iron, the first thing I learned was my buddy's like, you smell the heat. I'm like, what are you talking about? But if you move a soldering iron, about 6 inches from your nose, as you breathe, you can feel the warm air coming off it when you breathe in. He goes, yeah, it's like you can smell the heat. And I'm like, I don't think that's a technical term, but go with that. And to this day, every time I pick up a soldering iron, I smell the heat before I start soldering.
Do you use a soldering iron that you can adjust the temperature on it?
Hell no. I bought a soldering iron at a flea market in high school, and I'm still actually, I just bought a new one this year. So I haven't used the new one yet, but the last one, I was using, and I was suffering trying to do that pedal kit. And I was just like, I gotta get a new soldering iron. And then literally I realized it would have been like a dollar store soldering iron, because it was a guy that had a bunch of dollar store items at this flea market. I'm like, hey, soldering iron, $5. That was in 1991.
Okay.
So, I love the smell of solder fumes in the morning. Exactly, Lawrence. Don't use lead solder. Oh, you got to huff the lead fumes. Come on. Nothing wrong with little lead fumes. Next thing you know, you'll be telling me not to lick the paint. Well, we're almost coming up to the bottom of the hour here, folks. Any last questions? Get them on in here. The wonderful smell of ozone. There we are. And Lawrence still has his first Weller he got from Radio Shack. The younger viewers are going, what the hell is a Radio Shack?
It's true, eh?
I love Radio Shack because you could go in and buy components even.
Yeah.
It was great because I remember putting together kits in high school. We had a parts room in high school, but if they didn't have the part, they're like, well, we can order more resistors, but they're going to get here like next semester type thing. I was like, okay, I'll just go down to Radio Shack and buy a bunch of parts. They're like, sure. And sometimes you could even issue receipts with the school, and they had a bit of petty cash, so they'd help us out.
That's cool. I'm lucky. I mean, because in Montreal we have a lot of we have like about 3 or 4 of the electronic stores basically where we can get components.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, there used to be a big electronics liquidation place right on Queen Street, just down from Steve's Music in Toronto. It was great. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. It was like your army surplus of electronic stores.
Okay.
Just boxes and bins, and just this huge old hardware store that's probably been on Queen Street, Toronto for 100 years type thing. Nesdal has a StewMax soldering iron, goes up to 500 Celsius. Wow, that's warm.
Yeah, that's why I was asking about the temperature, because I worry sometimes if it's too hot, then I'm going to burn the board, So
you'll cook the components before you'll cook the board.
Exactly. Okay.
Which there is ways, like if you have little alligator clips, if you have room putting it between, like if you're soldering through a circuit board and you don't need to pull down tight, just put an alligator clip on the one lead before it pokes through. It works as a heat.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's a cool trick.
That's right, Lawrence. I know stuff. Always use a fume extractor. That's true. Very true, Lawrence. Very true. Well, like I say, we are getting to the bottom of the hour. Do you have anything to add, my new and good friend Francis, who I have a person to visit when I'm on the North Shore of Montreal?
Yeah. Well, do I have anything to add? Not really. I just want to say thank you to everybody because, we have an amazing musical community and everybody is so cool. I'm so happy I met I'm so happy I met you, and I'm so happy I met a lot of the people here, and pretty much almost everybody in the chat there I know pretty much. Yeah. And I think it's we have a cool community, and I think it's very special. And I think we should I appreciate it, and I know that a lot of people. I met a lot of cool people, and I'm basically just happy that I met all you people. It's really cool, lots of fun.
Wow, we got some cool stuff. Okay, so Milt TS, Ben, did you say your signature pedal has a limited run of 10? Yes, I do believe. I haven't got an email or a text from Lawrence saying we're sold out yet. So as of right now, we still have some in stock. And Daniel Crow just said, loving my nice drive, stacks great with other pedals. It's totally sticks with LPD's Javelina boost before it. Awesome. Awesome. And Boner Jam says, I love Quebecers with guitars. Great show.
That's cool, man. Does that mean I have to change the name of my channel to Quebecers with Guitars?
Well, see, you leave the channel the same. You just do a show called Quebecers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mondays at 9 Eastern? Right now. Nice. All right. Have a good night, Lawrence. So, yeah, definitely. It's funny because I was just thinking to myself, an hour and a half just flew by here.
It did, absolutely.
And chances are, like you were talking about, if had you come up on vacation, you were going to stay in Belleville. If we had hung out for an hour and a half, I bet you 90% of our conversation would have been the exact same as it was tonight.
Probably, yeah.
Nordiques with guitars. I like it, Boner Jam. Hey, Richard Johnson. Hello. He says, oh, hey, Ben. Like your videos. First time chat. Thanks for the invite link. Hello, Francis.
Hello.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Richard. Thanks. That's awesome. Always gets me right in the feels. I hear things like that. So that's awesome. I'm glad. Who was that?
Thanks, Ian.
Jeez Louise. Daniel Crow, I'm glad you enjoyed the pedal. Because honestly, I don't know who's getting one, who's got one. I kind of know who wants one based on comments. Hey, cool pedal. I'm like, well, buy one. Braxel says, hi, time for steak and burgers. What's better than meat without a side of meat? I love it.
Thank you, Hugh Caldwell.
We got Francis on, of course. Yeah, definitely. We can do this again if you're up for it. That's for sure.
For sure. Yeah, I'm up for a hang another time. Absolutely.
Awesome. And yes,
Thanks,
everyone check out Dave Nesdal when we wrap up here. He's going to be live momentarily. And there we are. And Metalhead Hippie's on later tonight as well. So definitely pop in and see Dave until Hippie goes live, and watch Dave until he's done, and then Hippie goes live. And everyone should check it out. I'll be back here tomorrow night at 8 Eastern playing. I might play some music. I don't know. We'll see how the hands are, to be honest with you. I had some severe hand cramping we didn't touch on the show tonight. 20 minutes into last week's show, I had severe hand cramping to the point where I had to run my hands under hot water for about 5-10 minutes after the show. I was in a lot of pain. I haven't been in that much pain after playing in a long time. So I finally picked up a guitar again yesterday for the first time, almost a week. And I was able to play for about 10 minutes. So we shall see tomorrow night. Maybe we'll do more Q&A than playing, folks. So please have questions ready. I would really appreciate it if you guys help me out with that. I'll try to knock out a few tunes for you as well. So I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. Special shout out to my mod squad. I believe there is an emoji for the mod squad, folks, which I haven't seen used yet tonight. And also, I want to thank those new people that tuned in tonight, that subscribed, I hope. Awesome. Welcome back, all the longtime people like Jamie, Vintage Sounds there, and a bunch of others. As always, I'm Ben. Hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. Do good things, and good things will happen to you. I'm living the dream. Francis is living the dream. I hope you are too. Cheers, rock on, and be good to each other, folks. Peace.